Welcome back to FM Story. Our recent form with Athletic Club has nosedived. Basically, since the end of August, we've been horrific. It's only a matter of time, I think, before we come under threat and potentially lose our job. We have recently changed formation, so let's find out whether that manages to save our job or not and see if we can make it through a full video. Before we get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe. And without further ado, let's get going. So it turns out that December was a much better month than September, October or November. The change in formation does seem to have made a difference to our performances. So obviously we'd ended the last episode after we'd beaten Cal at 3-1. We started December by hammering Espanyol. We took them apart, particularly in the sort of last 10 minutes of the first half, and then just continued on from there. Malaga was a bit of a dicey game. We went behind and equalised before half time and probably should have got a winner, but just weren't able to convert some chances. Olympiacos. So after the Malaga result, having not been able to win that game, I did kind of think the results against Celta and Espanyol kind of papered over the cracks a bit, and we were dropping back, especially when Olympiacos got a penalty in the 87th minute and equalised in the Champions League, but we were able to go up the other end, and Valabra actually popped up and did something for the first time all season, and got us the winner. And then Valencia, who are mid-table, we basically took them apart in the first half. We had 3 goals after 25 minutes. Yeah, they pulled 2 back, but we didn't really look in danger of conceding another one. And then Nico Williams popped up with a 4th to really kind of push us on. The one thing that has happened is the change in formation really seems to have freed up Oyan Sunset. He's been outstanding, particularly in December. So hopefully this is a long-term thing going forward. As far as the league's concerned, we're currently sitting 8th, so we're 1 point and 1 place behind Real Sociedad, who are in the last European spots. That's the Europa Conference League spot. And then we're only 2 points behind Barcelona, Sevilla. So we've really kind of picked it up. So if we can continue, obviously the next game is against Sevilla, first game in January. So that's going to be a big one. If we can get a victory over Sevilla, it puts us really back in the hunt for the European places. So that's going to be an important game coming up next. As far as the Champions League is concerned, the victory over Olympiacos has taken us to 19th. Obviously, the top 24 is where we want to be. So Slavia Prague are currently in 24th on 6 points. We're in 19th on 8 points. So it's still, with 2 games left, basically anyone from 34th upwards can catch us. So we definitely need something in the next game to make it a bit closer. So the next game in the Champions League is at home to Monaco, and then we finish away at Porto. So they're not going to be 2 particularly easy games, but if we can get a result in one of those, then hopefully that should be enough to make us qualify for the knockouts. Going into the game against Sevilla, we've made a couple of changes from the last game. We've dropped Hugo Guillamon back into the back 4 in place of Inigo Martinez, just because we're going to actually need to find someone who can play centre-half, because Martinez is retiring at the end of the season, which means that Zubimendi is playing the holding role, Sanset's playing the box-to-box role, which means Muniain's going to play the Mezzala role. We're going to persist with Valabra up front, just to see if we can get him into some sort of form, even though he is trying to force his way out. And basically, despite the upturn in results, the thing that could get me the sack is the players seem to have lost complete faith. But hopefully a couple of decent results and we can turn that around. But this is an important game, given where Sevilla are in the league. If we can pick up a victory here, it would be great. The one thing we don't want is a result like we had in this same fixture last season, where we were 4-0 up at half time and then ended up losing 5-4. I think that would truly finish finish me off. And it really does not look like they are all happy campers, does it? Every one of our attacking players is unsure. Hopefully that makes a bit more of a difference. So the formations are matching up fairly similarly. Right. Kappa and acres of space. Can we do anything with this? Griezmann. Is that a penalty? I don't think it was. I'll be surprised if we get it. Yeah, I didn't think so. Now, if our goalkeeper could get back in his goal, please. Thank you. We still look very fragile at the back, although we haven't conceded as many goals since we changed the formation. Griezmann. That's got to be offside. Griezmann's been in great form. In December, he was Player of the Month for the league. He played 3 games, got 4 goals and 4 assists in them, but that one's definitely offside. Yeah, only like the 2 yards. Love. That was a decent ball if it wasn't aimed for like one of the smallest players on the pitch. Oh, Sunset nicks it back and Valabra dwells on it. That's probably why he hasn't barely played this season. Just right, come on. I think Valabra's going to have to come off. I mean, those 2 seasons where he scored like the 50 goals in all competitions in both seasons, it's looking like a real anomaly compared to what he did the season before and what he's done in the 2 seasons since. So we've put Nico Williams down the middle and we've brought Inaki Williams on the left before he goes off to the African Cup of Nations, and hopefully that can provide a bit of a spark up there. You've got to be joking, referee. Come on. I don't think that we deserve to be winning this game, but do you know what? We'll take it at this stage. It's a big result as it stands. Somehow we've dug out that performance. The problem is Inaki Williams, who having played a half, was our best performer, is now off to the African Cup of Nations. So we're going to have to figure out something else with that front three. Because Valabra is definitely not the answer. So it turns out that January has been a very hit and miss month. So following on from the victory at the beginning of the month against Sevilla, we lost 3-0 in the Supercopa semi-final. Just weren't in the game at all. Didn't create much or anything like that. We then played Deportivo in the Copa del Rey and went 1-0 down, but then ended up 3-1 up. They pulled a goal back. We quickly went 4-2 up and ended up only just about surviving on 4-3. Griezmann picked up an injury in that game and was going to be out for 3 weeks. Maturana came on in the second half and got sent off pretty much straight away. But then somehow we rebounded back from that game with a brilliant performance against Monaco in the Champions League. Won 5-1, which guaranteed us going through into the knockout stages. It was enough to make us safely through with a game left. I mean, we'd started pretty well. Valabra and Guerrero got goals in the first 10 minutes. We were 3-0 up, 3-1 up at half time, and then just kind of killed the game off after they went down to 10 men. Then somehow we managed to throw away a game against Elche. We were 1-0 up, then 2-1 down, 2-2, and then we were just rubbish in the second half. And that's pretty much exactly what we were like for the whole game against Porto. We started with the formation we've been playing recently. That didn't work. We reverted back to the old formation. That didn't work. We went more direct in the second half. That still didn't work. So things aren't looking particularly great in terms of where we're at the moment. I mean, hopefully this next game against Almeria we can turn it around and pick up a result in that. What it means is in the Champions League we did qualify in 18th, so we made it through to the knockout stage. Obviously we're going to play in the first knockout round. We haven't got the bye. The league, we're currently sat in 7th. And we've got a game in hand on most of the teams around us. The only team we don't have a game in hand on against is Atletico, because our league game against Rayo Vallecano earlier on in January was postponed because of a waterlogged pitch. So we're a game. We've played a game less than Sociedad, but we're 4 points behind. So even if we win the game in hand, we're still going to be outside of those European places. So we need to kind of make sure we start picking up some victories against some of these sides above us in the second half of the season. Going into the game against Almeria, we've gone back to Inigo Martinez in centre of defence. Hugo Guillemon's gone into the sort of holding role in midfield. We're playing Juan Guerrero alongside Sunset. Valabra's come back in up front because the last game we played well in was the game he started up front against Monaco. Griezmann failed a fitness test, but he's on the end of the bench just because there was space on the end of the bench. So hopefully we can get off to a decent start and get a performance, but we'll need to keep Luca quiet because I think he had quite a good game against us in the first game against Almeria. Right, so hopefully we can get off to a decent start. Hopefully the home advantage as well. Not much happening in the first 5 minutes or so. We've got the ball now. Can you get it? Yeah. Oh. So it looks as though all the teams around us in the league have won their game. So it's going to be important to get a result here. Not much happening apart from that chance of Valabra where he nodded it just over. Standing on the ball like that at the back gives me the heebie-jeebies. Come on. definitely something we needed. We needed to get that first goal, settle everyone down a bit. It's a lovely ball through, takes a touch on the thigh, and then somehow scoops the volley past the keeper. Wow, we've successfully defended 2 crosses, and the third one. Oh, thank God for that. It's unusual that we held up from the first 2 crosses. I think overall we have to be pretty pleased with that. Ideally, we'd be more than 1 up, but we've kept their chances low. Apart from obviously Luca hitting the post. We just need to sort of solidify and capitalise again on the in the second half. Right, we've left it the same to start the second half. Oh! Right, so we stuck Nico Williams through the middle, pushed Muniain wide left and Inaki Williams wide right. Hopefully see if we can do something in this second half here. Surely there was a ball down the line there. Come on. Oh! This is written in the stars that they're going to get a late equaliser. And that's offside. What was he doing? He's miles off. And that's the end of this episode. We've managed to end January on a bit of a high compared to what it was in the middle of January. It was important that we do end on a bit of a high because we've got games in the league against Real Madrid, Barcelona and Sociedad coming up in February. At the moment, we've got the Copa del Rey game against Betis next up, who are flying high in the league. And we've got the first knockout round of the Champions League all to come in February. So February's going to be a busy month. Some of those league games might get moved if we somehow get past Betis in the league, or depending on what other teams do. But yeah, it was important to end the month with a win, and hopefully next month we can perform a bit more like we did in December. And we'll see you next time to find out whether we can do that.